Alright, this is part two. Like I was saying on part one, that I wanted to destroy my Christianity past. I was being rebellious in middle school. I was just doing everything that was against God. Like, I remember when my mom always taught me, Christian beliefs, and she always told me scriptures. And sometimes when I would go to sleep, she would be, when I was sleeping, just pray for me while I was sleeping. And sometimes she never, I'm pretty sure she never knew that I knew, but I always knew a lot of times that she would pray for me while I was sleeping. But I remember I started doing everything that was against whatever my parents believed. Like, I dyed my hair once just because I wanted to. I would want to wear shorts at church. I started celebrating Halloween, and because when I was little, ever since I was like in preschool, I did Halloween because I liked it. And until this day, I'm not gonna lie. You guys can hate me, love me, or hate me. I still think it's cool. Mostly because of decorations, but I just did that so my parents could. My parents always told me, no, it's bad to do Halloween, but I did all that stuff, and I was around 14. Right after in summer school, I started noticing that all the cool guys, the gangbangers and whatnot, are starting to get good-looking girls, and they were having popularity with the criminal activities that they were doing, whatever you want to say, call it or whatever. And I was like, dang, I want a piece of that. I want to have girls and have people look up to me. So around like starting to freshman year in high school, I started smoking weed. I started drinking. For a while at the beginning of high school. Well, I actually lost a lot of weight during summer school, and in the beginning of high school. I lost a lot of weight. I started changing the way I dressed. I started wearing plain shirts. I used to wear Shaka, Polo, AAA, whatnot. I used to wear Dickies all the time, and I remember I had an earring, and I had earrings, and I was always bald at that time, and a lot of girls started liking me. They were just showing me, I was like, wow, I was surprised because from within like 2 years, girls didn't like me, and the girls that I liked in middle school, they were liking me in high school. They kind of still look the same, but just older. But I changed a lot, physically and mentally. I was just from left to right. I was flirting with girls and just messing around. I remember I had my first girlfriend, and I couldn't keep her seriously because I was flirting with girls all the time. And from when I was 13, 12, I was always thinking about girls. And since that happened to me when I was 15, I was thinking about girls all the time, like 24/7, literally. And in high school, I started hanging out with gang members. I saw them. I thought, well, because everybody else thought they were the coolest guy on campus, so that's all it was in high school. I went to Paris High School. If you were a drug dealer, you were like the coolest guy. If you were a gangbanger, you were cool. If you were even a player, you were cool. If you were a thief, you were cool. Anything with to do that had criminal activity, it was cool. It was girls even like that. That's how they got their the hottest chicks in school got those kind of guys. And I thought it would be cool, to be initiated into a gang at 15. And I always wanted to, but the thing that pushed me more was when I started planting weed. I was planting weed, and parents caught me. I've got in a fight physically with my father. And I should have never done that. And they kicked me out because I was planting weed and caught me smoking weed. I moved over to one of my friend's house for like a week, and that's when I got initiated. I came back, and I actually moved to my aunt's house for like a month, and I got jumped at school by my old ex-friends, so-called friends. They jumped me, and I was just like, wow, can't trust my friends. And I was like, I can't even, I didn't want to trust my parents. I didn't want nothing to do with my parents because, I was rebellious. And at that time, I was like, when I was, hanging out with those gang members that were supposedly, rolling with me, They were always telling me what to do. They were like, do this, do that, go rob this, go fight with this guy, go do this. You have to do this, you have to do that. And while I would be doing some things they want me to do, they would always just be getting high and drunk. And I was just like, I don't want this. I was like, this is dumb. I was like, this is why I even left church in the first place, because people were telling me what to do and forcing me to do this and peer pressuring me. And I was like, I don't like that. So I was like, till I was like 17 and 15, 17, I was just all through peer pressure. And I was 17 and a half when I came to realize that that's not for me. So I mean, I just fled off. I moved to a city in Quo Valley, and I thought I was like, my life's gonna be, more a little calm because I don't have to worry about other, gang members or whatnot. But on the contrary, it started getting worse because, not because I left, but because I started drinking more. I started drinking every day. I started smoking weed. I started doing cocaine, crystal meth. From there, I was always thinking of, I couldn't, the only thing I had in my mind was alcohol, drugs, and women, and money. That's all I had. I never thought about going to college. I made fun of people going to college for going to church and whatnot. And I was always like, if I wasn't sober, if I wasn't drunk, I was hungover. If I was hungover, I was high. I was always something. And I couldn't think straight. I couldn't even, I felt lazy all the time. I felt like I could never grab something, grab a hold onto something, keep something. It was just, the only thing that I could keep a hold of was alcohol. And by the time I turned 18, from 17 and a half, I was going to this school in Canyon Lake. And I remember I had some friends there that, they jailed me for not for not hanging out with them. And I mean, I also got jumped. I don't know if I said that earlier, but I got jumped in high school just for hanging out with the wrong, type of people that I wasn't supposed to be hanging out with. By the time I turned 18, 5 days after I turned 18, I got arrested for the first time for stealing alcohol. And I was always stealing, so it was crazy to be somewhere where, I still remember the day. I only got locked up for a little bit, but an hour seemed to me a whole day. But I was locked up for like 3 days, 3 to 4 days, somewhere around there. I was the smallest dude there. I was scared, but I didn't show fear. That's something I never wanted to show fear. Don't matter where I was. But during that time in my life, I was robbing people left to right. I was robbing houses. I was robbing stuff in yards. I was taking anything just to make $1. I was stealing people's cans, stealing people's water hoses, stealing people's ladders, and I was stealing people's phones, bikes, whatever to just get beer and cigarettes. And beer was like my drug to me. And I was getting arrested and drunk in Publix, and I was just, that's the end of part. That's the end of part 2. I'm about to put part 3 right now. God bless.